Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mishka and I am a former au pair that au paired in the US in 2019 to 2021, so for 2 years. So in today's video, I'm going to give you some tips and advice on how to manage homesickness. For most au pairs, homesickness doesn't really kick in until maybe the first month or two. Of course, you're really sad when you leave, but then you arrive and you might feel this excitement, and everything is so new and so exciting. So, especially if you have a really good host family from the beginning, and it doesn't take long to connect with them, you'll find that you have the best time in the first 2 months, I want to say. At least that's my experience, and a few other au pairs that I spoke to. But once the dust settles and you get into a routine and things start to feel mundane, you start to slowly, I feel like, miss home, miss food that you have back home, miss your family and friends, and just the way of life that you have at home. So, here are some tips that I think you could try to adapt or use when you are going through the feeling or motion of homesickness. So, one of the more simpler things that I advise you to do is reach out to your friends and family back home. Thank goodness for technology, because I have no idea how any au pair would have done this without FaceTime or WhatsApp call or Zoom. I spoke to my mom every single day, so it never felt like I hadn't seen her or hadn't spoken to her, because I would be seeing her face every day. And while sometimes it could be difficult with our time zones, we always made a way to chat to each other. And I usually would feel homesick on a Sunday evening, and that would be difficult to try and reach out to anyone back home, because a Sunday evening, I think, would be nighttime for my family, so I wouldn't be able to speak to anyone. So, if you aren't able to reach out to other people, another way to overcome homesickness is to reach out to au pairs that are around. And so I knew on a Sunday sometimes I'd have that like Sunday blue feeling, and I would always try to make a plan with a friend, whether it be even just watching a movie in my home or go to their house and just watch something, just to hang out, just to not be alone. And I feel like that helped me quite a lot. Most au pairs felt very homesick most of the time due to watching their friends from back home's Instagram stories and Snapchat stories. And I think that a lot of us would have that FOMO feeling, which is the fear of missing out, and that would make people really sad. But you have to try and maintain a balance. Know that when they are watching things that you are experiencing, they might feel like they are missing out on something, while you are watching stuff from back home and you feel like you are missing out. And it's just that feeling of like you can't have both, and you have to remember that you have to find your happiness and know that you will be going back to that. So if you are finding that watching Snapchat stories and Instagram stories triggering, really try to avoid it if you can, just to give yourself that time to recover, and maybe you can go back to watching those things once you start feeling better again. The tip is to keep yourself busy. Make plans with other au pairs in your area, and if you are in an area that unfortunately doesn't have many au pairs, try to join certain like social clubs. So maybe a CrossFit gym where you do end up getting to know the people come to that gym, or even just joining an ordinary regular gym. At least that can keep you busy and you may meet some people. Join apps like Bumble BFF, and this will allow you to connect with other girls or boys that are looking for friendship. Even if you meet one person on Bumble BFF, you will get to know that person, and by you hanging out with that person, they may introduce you later on to their friendship group, and that's how a lot of people develop friendships with other American people, by being introduced through one person. Another tip to do is join the local community college and do a couple classes there where you then meet some college students, and they can also introduce you around and you can socialize and make friends. You can also join other clubs like church clubs, or just go to church and do like a Tuesday. Usually they have like a kind of a young adult service or something that you could join. there were weekends, and this is when I would also miss my family a lot, is on these weekends when I had no plans. And that does happen because sometimes you don't have the money to do anything, or your friends are maybe traveling that you weren't able to attend, or something like that, and you then feel down because you are now sitting in your room and you feel like you've already watched all the TV you can take in, and you've read your books, you've done your skincare routine, you've done everything you can possibly think of doing, and now you're just sitting there feeling so alone. So luckily for me, when I did feel like this, I had a really nice host family that I never felt like I didn't want to hang out with them. So sometimes I would just go downstairs and chill with the kids, or play with them, or maybe we'd just bake or something like that. And it felt good because I also knew that once I was done doing whatever I needed to do with them, I would just be able to leave, and it didn't feel like work because I wanted to do it. And the kids enjoyed it. The host family, the host parents enjoyed having me around, I think. And yeah, I just liked having that, you know, option of being able to be with them, and that sometimes made me feel better. Another tip is to try and invite your friends from back home, from your home country, to come and visit you. That can make you excited and also get you out of that feeling of homesickness because you have something to look forward to and plan. So I had my mom that came to visit me, and if had it not been for COVID, I think I would have had some more family members come, but due to the travel restrictions and things, I was only able to have my mom. But I was so grateful for that time, and it was definitely sad having her leave, but once I got back and just got readjusted into the routine, I was okay. But it can be really sad when the person you have come and visit you have to leave. Another tip is to make your room feel like home. So, or at least make it feel warm and like it's your own. So I had pictures of my friends and family from back home. My host mom even had empty frames where au pairs could put their pictures into. She also had a few frames with pictures she took from like my Instagram and Facebook, because we were friends on that before we met. She had taken the liberty to print them and put them in, which was such a sweet touch, and it made me feel really welcome. What else? I didn't buy too many things to make the room feel very homey, because it really already was feeling like that, but it felt also, I think, more my own when I had completely unpacked and put away my luggage, and just made things like organized and things like that. So if you're someone that doesn't like to unpack, or you're just lazy to do it, definitely doing that can help you feel like this place is your home, and that can maybe help relieve that feeling of missing home. And lastly, I would advise that you talk to people. So even talking to your host family and telling them how you're feeling, it can make you feel a lot better, because people can understand you more, as well as sympathize with you. Maybe your host family is wondering why you have such a low energy, and they're thinking that something like you are not enjoying your time here. But by you telling them that you're feeling homesick, they can probably help you with that. They can also be more empathetic towards you. So I had issues after a few months where I felt like I wasn't making really good friends. I had like one or two friends, but it just felt like I didn't have the friends that I would usually have. And I told my host mom that like I'm really struggling with making friends. Where I lived, there was predominantly Spanish speaking au pairs, so a lot of them would hang out, and I couldn't really hang out with them because a lot of the time they would speak in their languages. So my host mom took the liberty of finding other moms that had babysitters and nannies, and she then gave me their numbers, or gave them my number, and they contacted me, and that's how I made one of my really good friends. And she introduced me to so many people, which was really nice. And had I not opened up to my host mom, I would have never met the people that I met, and I would have never had those experiences. So speaking to your host family is maybe considered really underrated, and it's something you might not have thought about because you feel like they are your employers or something. But they do want the best for you. They want you to enjoy your experience, at least the good ones do, and they want you to feel at home. I hope this video helped. If you are a current au pair, please leave some comments below to help others on what you do when you are feeling homesick. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.